premium.
I got
Yes,
a question
ma'am.
for the two of you, and I've probably heard you speak about this before, but what do you think the future of the play, not musical, the play is, without stars? No stars.
I think it's getting stronger and stronger each year. I think there are more plays on Broadway than Fran and I remember back in our time. 1982, we did Medea with Zoe Caldwell and Dame Judith Anderson, and we did Othello that year.
What about new original plays, though?
Oh, new
Unknown,
originals is
yeah.
happening, don't you think? More
I
than
think
ever
if you-
before?
If you have, but I think the one problem is getting a straight play to work on any basis, even revivals, without a star. If you don't have a star, a big star. And that's one of the things that's a little discouraging, because if you have, now the Humans, I guess is doing all right. Now if it wins Best Play,
Mhm.
I assume because it's in a small theater, we're going to
Mhm.
continue to do
Mhm.
well. But most old plays, as you know, unless you got a star above the title, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And on musicals, if you have a big star above the show, but above the, I'll be right with you, Sadie, I'm just going to
Yeah,
finish the sentence.
I'm really anticipating your question.
I think it's going to be a good one. If it's a musical, if you have a big star like Peter Allen or someone like that, after they leave, it closes because they're too big. You can't even replace them.
Ty
So,
Daly and Gypsy.
the great musicals and like Hamilton, I mean, Miranda's good, but he's not, you know,
Not a
he's
star.
not Al Pacino. And you're very fortunate because you have a great star who's well known in your musical. But when she leaves, I'm sure you'll be able to replace her because she's not Bette Midler. I mean, she's
Right.
not Julia Roberts.
Yep.
It's the death of a musical when they have these huge stars. Nobody wants to see anybody after that. And none of the other stars want to replace them. Yes, Sadie, time for your question.
How do you make a great kids play or show?
That's terrific. That's a great question. How do you make a great kids show? That's how Fran, my wife, and I started doing nothing but kids shows. Aladdin and the Magic Lamp, Swiss Family Robinson. Reed Birney was the first father of Swiss Family Robinson in 1968. Oh my God. We did our first play in '64. So it's very, very important that we do things for a young audience like you. I hope you go to theater. What do you see?
Annie.
Annie, that's a good one.
That was our first musical.
That's great.
She was a little more from that.
That's great.
But it's and you know, Sadie, that before Disney, the first musical Disney did was a show called Beauty and the Beast. You know that's Beauty and the Beast. Before that, there weren't really musicals for children. They really weren't. I talk about in my book, when I was younger than you, I went to my first musical. It was a thing called, a bad word that you're not supposed to use, Damn Yankees. It was just for adults. I read that chapter to you, remember? And we didn't have musicals for children. It was just for adults. And Disney really changed the landscape to, you know, everything in the city, because they started with Beauty and the Beast, and you know, they've done Aladdin, as you know, and they've done Lion King. So that whole part of the world for children is now something that did not exist before. So I think there will be a lot more musicals for children as the years go by. You're going to be able to see a lot of them.
Good.